Hello and welcome back to the latest episode of my Love Machine podcast. Now, a lot of my listeners are involved in online dating or dating apps. And as I told you before, it's so important that you remember to have great online dating pictures. Otherwise, it's like sending a letter without a stamp. It's not going to get anywhere. And it's really important that you remember that these profiles are all about marketing. It's marketing yourself in the right way, including your selling points, your plus points, and reasons why somebody should date you. So to help me talk to you about this today, I've got a very special guest. I've got Gemma Wilks, who is a personal branding photographer. Welcome to my podcast, Gemma.
Thank you very much, James. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Now, can you explain to my listeners exactly what you do, what your company is, and how you help single people?
I sure can. So essentially, I help individuals stand out and get noticed online. So it is all about perception and how you appear to people, that you look approachable, whether this is for your online dating profile or even indeed in business through any kind of social networking platform. So I saw a little bit of a gap in the market a handful of years ago when I was dating myself and got sick to death of all of the really bad profile images that people had. And I even looked back in October and thought, what are people doing? They're totally misrepresenting themselves, mis-selling themselves, because you're right, you're marketing yourself. You can't just take a selfie and hope for the best. Like, investing in some professional, eye-catching photos is a huge win for your profile. Like, I have seen clients go from getting a couple of profile views in a week or a few days to getting over 10 in an hour since uploading them. And it's your shop window. Your profile photos are your shop window. If you don't nail that, you're not going to get the profile views. Like, it is sad, but we are all judged by our appearance in a way. Like, and we do judge books by their cover. And it's the same with online dating. It's, if you don't drag people in, it's like a point of sale on the end of an aisle in a shop. They're there to grab your attention. And if your profile photo doesn't stop people in their scroll, then you're doing something a little bit wrong. And you need to shift your way of thinking and think of it more as you trying to attract somebody's attention to even get through to reading a bit about you, finding out a little bit about you. So yeah, it's all down to your profile photo.
Completely agree. If you haven't got a good profile picture, no one's ever going to get as far as reading your profile at all, yet alone messaging you. And you're right, I have so many clients who I work with. I go with them, particularly women, and they look at the men's profile pictures and they are truly awful. You mentioned selfies, they're black and white, they're wearing hats, they're wearing sunglasses, they've got blurred images going on. It is an absolute nightmare.
They even start me on bunny ears and things like that. Like,
yeah, the filters.
Filters are a big no-no. They're such a turn off. I really don't know what people think is going to come of using these ridiculous filters.
I think they use them as a mask in the same way they use sunglasses and hats. They don't really want to reveal who they are. They're scared of being rejected. So they add these stupid little filters on them. And the problem is that most dating sites should not allow you to have these filters. The paid for ones do weed out the filters, but the free apps will allow you to do anything that you want, really. I think it's your mistake. You waste your time, waste your money on doing them on pictures. We don't really care. But then even the paid for sites will still allow people to have terrible pictures and terrible sunglasses pictures and all sorts of weird and wonderful things going on. And the reason that is because they want to make money out of these customers. If they upload pictures and they're always being rejected, then they're not going to pay to stay on the site. So overall, it gives you a terrible user experience, and that's why they do it. So, Gemma, you help people by having good photographs.
I absolutely do. But the key is, I do take a great photograph. That's why I do what I do. And it's why people pay me to do it for them. But the key behind it is to relax the person in front of the camera and make them feel comfortable in my company, which literally 100% of my clients feel that way. They instantly relax in my company, which is an amazing thing to be able to do to someone who doesn't particularly enjoy or want to have their photo taken, which is the majority of my clients, to be honest. But what's amazing is when they see the results. I sent a set of photos to a client that I photographed in Derby City Centre on Sunday. I sent them over yesterday, and he literally just replied and said, wow, I had certain expectations about photos I was going to get, but he didn't for 1 minute think that he was going to look like that. And clients do say I didn't realise I could look like that, but they look like them. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's nothing that other people don't see in them. It's just the photos that they're probably used to seeing of themselves are rubbish. Or like I say, they've taken a selfie, and what people don't always realise with a selfie is that it whacks their facial proportions out a little bit. So their cheeks or their nose might look a little bit more bulbous than it actually is. And no selfie can ever look relaxed or natural. Whereas if you're engaging with your photographer and you've got things in common, like on my shoots, we talk in depth about dating and apps, and I share some of my horror stories or my success stories and what I like to call dating research from when I was dating. And that's what really relaxes them, that relatability. And yeah, the results are just amazing.
Well, that's good. That's what you want for a business. You want good results. I think a lot of people purposely add terrible pictures onto dating apps because they don't want to get rejected. By putting in the best pictures of themselves, then they get a fear of being rejected. Someone doesn't like them, at least they can say, well, I didn't add good pictures anyway. It doesn't really matter. Or they write half-hearted profiles in the same way. And think, well, if I write the best about myself and no one's interested, then it's going to be more painful. But you absolutely want to stand out for the right reasons. And you said you take pictures of people that look like themselves. And that's what it needs to be. It needs to be you on a really good day, looking your best, smiling, looking happy, looking approachable. Selfies are so easy to spot, aren't they? You can see them and they just look awful. And women are lucky. Women can wear makeup and women tend to have their hair. But as men get older, they have less and less options. And they don't even have the friends. They can't ask their male friends to take pictures for them. So it's good to have a service like yours to actually help people and to take the pictures, because no one will ask them to do it for you. So you have to really embrace this and accept the fact that you've got to have good photographs. What sort of people come to you?
And so age range wise, it's been a complete mix so far between, say, as young as 18 years old up to 65. Like, it's been a huge age range. But I would say that 95% of my clients are male.
Really?
Dating photos. Yeah, and I do genuinely think that they just feel like they need a little bit of a push in the right direction. And a lot of them do comment. So on some of my shoots, so I do a half day and a full day shoot. I actually take my client for lunch and we just get talking about dating, and we maybe have a quick look through their dating profile just to kind of see what they're doing, what kind of angle they're going for and stuff. And a lot of them do comment on having that the perspective of a woman, if it's a woman indeed they're trying to attract. Because I do genuinely shoot and select the photos based on my own opinion. Like, so in which photo does this man look absolutely ridiculously hot? Which one would I want to click or tap through to find out more about? And I do, yeah, that's how my selection's done, really, based on my opinion. And in fact, they trust me so much that they want me to select all of their photos normally, rather than even having a look at them themselves to begin with. But yeah,
that's an interesting thing, because people, I presume the way it works is with similar companies that I work with, they do a photo shoot and then you give them all the shots and they can choose ones that they want. And they always ask me to go through these pictures and say which ones look best, which ones are going to work for the profiles. But often they're going to ask their friends and family too. And the problem with this, they're not going to be truly honest. They're not seeing them in that way that you're seeing them, as in, do you find them attractive in that picture or not? Do they look hot in that picture? They're going to say, you look very nice in that picture. You've got a nice smile. Or they're going to say, well, that's a nice outfit on you. It brings out your eyes. It needs more than that. It needs a whole new perspective when it comes to dating. Because it's not, if you're doing something for LinkedIn, I believe you do that as well, don't you, Gemma? You do pictures for LinkedIn and things like that.
I do, yeah, I do LinkedIn headshots. And yeah, and to be honest, a lot of clients now are starting to book a shoot, bring along a variety of outfits to kind of shoot for their dating profile and for their professional photo profile at the same time, which is quite fun.
So what's the difference between the business side photographs and the dating side? What are the main differences? Other than outfit?
Other than outfit, a lot of it is the different kind of glint in the eye that you capture and the kind of quirky smiles that you might capture. Definitely down to the outfit. So there are different colours. So for a lot of sort of professional photos, I think navy looks absolutely incredible for places like LinkedIn. For dating profiles, I just get people to like go through your wardrobe, pick out all the bits that you feel amazing in and the colours that suit you, and things that are obviously comfortable as well, because we're going to be walking around for quite a lot of the day. But yeah, brighter colours on dating shots and more professional, not necessarily shirt and tie, depends what people do for a living, but definitely more, I'm going to say smart casual for LinkedIn.
I think background is really important too. If you can have a background that's going to pop and make you stand out, then that's going to really have a big impact. Because you're looking at these pictures, going through picture. If you've got a really colourful picture or something interesting, then it can make you stand out for the right reasons. What are your thoughts on backgrounds and what ones would you recommend?
I go absolutely mental over backgrounds, and it's when I cannot wait till I've got a shoot in Liverpool coming up for a dating profile, and we're going to an area called the Baltic Triangle. I've never been before, but I'm told there's so many really bright, bold backdrops, like really Instagrammable kind of moments and things like that. And I shoot predominantly in Sneinton and Hockley in Nottingham city centre. And I know the best backdrops, and we're talking really intense, bright graffiti and really bright blues and mustards and purples and just loads of really cool colours. And it is all about having your image pop like mad. And I love colour clashes as well. One of my favourites, and one that I captured at the weekend, was a really bright blue background with someone in a really bright red top. And it might sound hideous, but actually I've got it as my profile picture on LinkedIn at the minute, actually, bright blue with bright red. But it just looks stunning. And it is all about just, because I remember when I was on like the likes of Tinder and things like that, I would just scroll meaninglessly through, because I'm like, oh, I'm probably getting a little bit bored of dating now. I keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. But until something grabs your attention, I call it the magpie effect. Until something really grabs your attention, you're not interested. Like, my partner had professional photos when I met him on Tinder, and I genuinely think that if it wasn't for those really bright, crisp, colourful photos, that I just don't think I would have clicked through. I don't think we would be in this relationship now. I don't. So the proof is definitely in the pudding. Definitely.
It's important. I used to be an actor a long time ago, and I had an acting headshot and acting pictures back when I used to do this. And they were on MySpace, which is long before Tinder ever came around. But I was doing all the online dating. My wife found me on MySpace and found my acting portfolio. And I believe it was those professional pictures that did help me. And this is going back 13 years now. It just makes you stand out from the competition. Then the competition was really low because people didn't have these fancy camera phones that had all the flashes on and gizmos and filters. So having a good artistic style professional photographs really made the difference, which is why I always recommend it to all my clients. You've got to stand out. And you mentioned before about being happy in these pictures, looking good and being confident. It's about bringing out the best version of you. But I get so many objections, and I understand this myself. People do not want to have their picture taken, and they hate it. It's like a bit of their soul is being taken away. This is how I feel. I hate people taking pictures of me. And I have to do it for my job. People are always taking pictures and videoing me. What advice would you give someone who's a bit nervous about doing this?
Bring someone along with you, seriously. Like, if you can bring along maybe a dog, your pet, or a friend or family member, like, that added distraction from the camera works absolute magic. It really does. And also remember that, because a lot of people are nervous about the fact that people are going to be looking at them having their photo taken, but you've got to remember that these people are walking by you, and within 3 seconds you've, no offense, but you've forgotten about, like, they've walked by you, they're looking at the next thing. But also to just embrace it, like, enjoy the attention, which is what you get when you book a photo shoot with someone like me. You get attention and you are made to feel confident and amazing, and just try it. I absolutely just recommend try it. I hired a photographer myself back in early March to shoot some photos for me, because I didn't really have some professional photos, and I obviously do have to practice what I preach, being a personal branding photographer. So I had some taken, and they've worked wonders for me. I do get a lot more attention online in my professional life, and I actually retrace the steps of one of my popular photo shoots that I give to my clients. So I kind of used it as a just to review what I'm offering other people. It was really, really good, and the photos were amazing. Really pleased with them. I've got a handful of shots that I can use for multiple purposes. Yeah, just give it a go. And if you're feeling a little bit nervous or shy, that's my job to fix that. So
fair enough. You put them at ease to make them feel that they're ready to do this, and you empower them. And
exactly.
that's really,
and
really cool.
I have got one example, actually. I was photographing a guy a couple of years ago, and I could genuinely sense how nervous he was, and it was quite obvious. And we got talking, and then I realized, like, I learned that his hobbies were tennis, being outdoorsy, reading and things like that. And where we were had a courtyard with some table tennis tables, and I was like, right, let's go and play table tennis. So we went, and I stood there right at the end of the table with my camera, and I said, I want you to whack the ball at me. And he did. I mean, that was the money shot, by the way. It was amazing. But he suddenly just relaxed in my company, and we had a blast, and his photos were really good. So just give it a go. Like, everyone can be nervous, and it's completely natural. But
I think that's great what you're saying about doing something active, doing a physical shot, because I always tell my clients to do that as well. If they like something sporty, then demonstrate that in the pictures. Anyone can write in their profile that they like doing yoga. In fact, 95% of women seem to enjoy doing yoga in their profiles. It makes them sound interesting. Men like going to the gym and working out. How often do they really go? Who knows? But by having a picture of you doing something fun and having fun at the same time, this is very important. Don't have a picture of you going for a run looking really, really serious and looking like a serial killer. Smile, look like having fun. Don't have pictures of you jumping out of planes or scuba diving or things like that. They might make you think you look adventurous, but all the person really cares about is, do they look fit? What do they look like? If they can't see, that could be anyone, could be a stock image, couldn't it? So I think action shots are amazing things to have. You can be riding a bike. And also you mentioned earlier about getting a dog. If you've got a dog, dogs are amazing things to have in pictures. I think it's important to have conversation starter pictures in your profiles. If someone's looking at your profile and they're all just smiley head shots or full body shots, which are important, but that's all it is, it makes it really hard to start a conversation. You flick through thinking, well, you look nice in that picture, what you're holding in your hand. It's a bit boring, it's a bit dull. If you've got a dog or something more interactive, some sort of prop, it allows the other person to ask you a question. They might say, what's that dog? What type of dog is it? Did the dog know that you're online dating? How does it feel about it? That's what I normally do. That works a treat, that line, trust that one. And things like that. Do you agree with that?
yeah, absolutely. It does kind of rely on, so when I send a booking confirmation out to clients, I do talk about props and accessories and the kind of things that I recommend they bring along to make their shots more engaging and things like that. It does rely on them actually bringing them along on the day, because a lot of clients do forget. Some bring like books and things like that, which is great if they're interested in reading. But in terms of larger props and sporting accessories, you know, some people are traveling from all over the country for these photo shoots, so it's not always easy to bring certain things across. But I do say to people, yes, you're going to have some pro shots, you're going to get head shots, torso shots, full body shots, some really nicely styled shots. There's nothing wrong with putting a sporting photo up that your friend's taken. I think you can have a little bit of a balance, but that shop window shot needs to be a pro shot. It needs to have your eyes, show trust, show approachability. the glint in your eye and a nice smile. Definitely.
I agree. So you look like someone that's going to be fun to go on a date with. So
Absolutely.
many profiles look utterly miserable, particularly guys are not smiling. Like, I don't want to take this picture. Here I'm looking really mean and moody. Now, some women do want a mean and moody man, absolutely. And some men do want a mean and moody woman. But majority aren't going to look past your profile, look past your album, if you're looking at the camera looking really, really fearful or looking like you're going to kill them. And it happens all the time. You want to bond with that person. You want to build rapport. You want to think, who's this person? Get them excited. And even the very act of smiling can work here. And don't have a mask of any sort. I talked about this earlier, but sunglasses are very, very common. In fact, that brings me on to something else. With your pictures that you take, Gemma, I'm still seeing people now on these dating apps who have got pictures of them next to a Christmas tree or them in the snow and things like that. I think that dating should be modern, it should be current. So if it's spring, it's fine to have a picture of you at winter. And if it's the summer, then spring pictures are okay. But that's what it should be. Go back one season. Otherwise, it looks like you've been on there for eternity and no one else is interested or interesting in what you're doing. So what are your thoughts on that? How would you date your pictures? Would you have them wearing shorts in the summer? What would you do?
Do you know what? The only bugbear that I have about seasonal photos is autumn, because it's so obvious that shots are taken in the autumn because of all the beautiful browns and oranges and stuff. But generally, like, everyone's going to be bringing a variety of outfits along to their shoots anyway. Like, if they've got okay shots that they've got from when they're on holiday, when they're in, like, I mean, I don't necessarily think that speedo and bikini shots are the right fit for a dating profile. Personally, I think you should definitely leave a little bit of desire there, imagination and stuff. But yeah, shorts in the summer, I just say wear what you like. And to be honest, a lot of people now are starting to have some shots done in the spring, maybe some more in the winter. They're mixing it up a little bit. And if they're on a dating site long enough to span all the seasons, like I was on there for 2 years, so 2 years worth of all the seasons. But I didn't mix mine up too much. I just kind of had some just all round nice shots. And a lot of them are mainly upper body. As long as you've got a shot or two that show the size of your body, how broad you are, whether you're big or small, that kind of thing. That's the thing people want to know. Whether you've got shorts on in the winter or the summer or not, I don't think should be a factor, really. I don't think it's important.
That's why action shots are quite good, because they can show you your figure and what it's actually like, and you're physically able of doing these things. Because people are looking for this, looking to think, wow, what do I have in common with this person? If you're playing ping pong, that looks fun. I want to go play ping pong. If you're going for a little run with your dog, they want to be involved in this. They want to have fun. But I actually think that you should mix your pictures up a little bit. And the reason that is, if you're using the same pictures and you've used them for maybe 3 months and maybe the conversations are starting to dry up a little bit, then don't be afraid of trial and error with some different pictures. So if the first one isn't working, change it, try something else, see what happens. And the same way you're
online.
Good.
That's the beauty of online. You can easily switch and change things. It's not like you printed a advert in a dating magazine or anything like that, and you can't switch your photo out. If one photo is working better than the other, keep it. If you want to get a few more profile views, switch it to something else and try something else.
I always ask people, say, you've got pictures on here that I don't think are that great. Maybe they're holding a drink or doing something a bit weird. And I would say, how many people have started a conversation or mentioned that picture to you? And they say, well, nobody. Then change it. Try something different. I love the idea you mentioned about a book, because I recommend that a lot too. If you've got a book that you're enjoying at the moment, even go out and get a book. If you get a comic, get a copy of the Beano, it can work just as well. Have something fun that shows your personality. I think self-help really seems to work. Guys in particular, if you're holding a self-help book and you're reading it looking really earnest about reading this book, maybe it's The Secret, it's The Power of Now, or Atomic Habits, whatever is popular at the moment, read these books. And they have a picture of you just holding the book. And anyone that knows what these books are is going to say how you find in that book, and they're going to be attracted to that. It's just a conversation starter. And the more things you can do, going back to props again, I know we've covered that already, but I think conversation starters are really, really important. How many pictures do you think someone should have on their profile?
I kind of go by a rule of 8, to be honest.
8, okay.
Yeah, you don't want too many. I have different packages, you see, that I offer clients.
So you're upselling.
It's based, like, some people literally just want a couple of shots. It depends if they're on a budget, if they're willing to invest a little bit more in their kind of how much they want to show people. I've got 3, 8 and 20 photo packages that people can purchase, can book onto. But you were talking earlier about, and just about the photos, about a photo prompting a question. But I think it's also so important to make sure that your written profile, so you've got them through the shop door, and it's how your profile is written as well that can prompt people to start a conversation with you. Like, for me, if you can make it as easy as possible for somebody to ask you a question and to start that conversation, you are onto a winner when it comes to your online dating journey. Definitely.
I completely agree. This is why I say to put questions into your profile. Say that you just started learning a new skill. Have you tried it yourself? Or I'm really into these new cocktails. Have you tried it? Do you know any good places around here? Or you can make jokes, make statements, I call them hooks. That's what I call them. Fill the profile with hooks. What sort of thing would you include in a profile to get someone to write to you?
All sorts. So I have a survey that I send out to clients who want a bit of help writing their dating profile, and it's got sort of a scale of interests and hobbies that they have to say whether they are into them or detest them or whatever. And it's those kind of things that I can go back to my clients to get them to elaborate on something. And loads of people say that they love travel, obviously, and you'll see from dating profiles when you were dating that everybody's mentioned a place that they visited. It is a great conversation starter. So I often tie into my clients' profiles. Visited this place, absolutely loved it. If you could get on a plane this weekend, a random weekend away, where would it be and why? I think that is an amazing conversation starter, and it really gives the person a feel for how outgoing somebody is, whether they like to explore new cultures. You kind of tailor the questions to make sure that you are only going to be really talking to the people that you're going to have a common interest with. Like, you wouldn't ask somebody if they like going to the theatre if you're not into going to the theatre.
No, it's got to fit who you are. But maybe if you like going to theatre, you can mention the show that you saw recently. Or at the moment, maybe you saw something on Netflix that you liked. Maybe you watched a film or a TV show and say, have you seen anything you recommend I can watch? And you've got to paint pictures as well. I think if you're aiming at women, you need to write more flowery sort of pictures and make them be able to imagine exactly what it would be like spending time with you. But guys like to see more stats and more facts written down. Like, this is me. I like doing this, like doing that. So it makes it easy to read it and just start conversations. I think it's important to add a call to action at the end as well of a profile. So you tell them, look, if you like what you've read, please get in touch with me. Or if you fancy a chat on the phone, let's do it. I'm not one to wait around. Let's just get on with this. What are your thoughts on a call to action? What's a good one to add?
Yeah, it's, again, same. Like, I always say, if you like what you read, let's get chatting, why not? But I also think what's really important, and what I recommend to my clients, is to also kind of highlight what your intention is on your dating profile, because that way you cut out immediately all of the time wasters, the people who don't want the same dating sort of outcome as you. Like, you've got people who are on various dating apps for various different reasons, one night stands, or they're in it for the long haul, they want to find someone to settle down and marry. I think in certain words, you should highlight what your intention is as well.
I agree. Make it very clear. I'm on here for this reason. I'm on here to make new friends. I'm on here to see what's out there. I'm here to start a new adventure. Make it clear right in the first couple of lines what you're interested in. If they're not interested, they're going to switch off and go on to the next profile. But it's going to help them think, well, this is a better match for me. I think that's very, very good advice to have that, because people aren't always very clear. And avoid generic stuff as well. Don't write boring things on there everyone else writes. Like, I like going out as well as going in. I like spending time with my family and friends. Everyone does that. Make it count. Every word count. Because when it comes to dating apps, the profiles are a lot shorter than they are online dating profiles. And even online dating profiles have become a lot shorter to match the dating apps. So attention spans are really, really short. Back in my time when I was single, they were much longer. You had whole sections you could write out about things that you liked, all the wonderful things that you've done recently. no one really cares now. You've got Facebook. It's all done bang, 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 Instagram, on to the next quote. It's all done as succinctly as possible. So write down things. And I'd also say one more thing, make some spaces, paragraph them. Don't just write one long block of text.
It infuriates me when I see a huge paragraph, because I design websites as well. So one of the reasons I'm good at writing dating profiles is for that exact reason. I can write for people who are just scanning through the information. People don't have time to sit and read through an entire paragraph. They're going to lose where they are. It's going to be boring. It's going to feel uninteresting. But yeah, if you can chunk your content, definitely. Even put some headings in there. Why not?
I agree. And also write about the person you want to meet as well. I have a couple of lines about now. I'm looking for this certain thing. I want to meet someone like that. If you want someone tall, dark and handsome, specify it.
Absolutely. And in all of my profiles, the bottom paragraph will state something like, my ideal partner is, or does, or is blah, blah, blah. If this is you, get in touch.
Fantastic. I definitely recommend that as well. Now, I'm going to bring back something I haven't done for a while on my podcast. I'm going to give you my 5 top dating expert tips on making your online dating photos stand out. I haven't done this for a while, but I thought I'd bring it back today because I'm quite confident on this topic, so I can talk about it till the cows come home. I'm sure both Gemma and I could do that, but we're going to run out of time very shortly. So I'm going to go with this now. Because if you want to make love work online, your dating profile needs to really stand out from the crowd. And the best things you can do are these top 5 tips. Number 1, get yourself in the mood. Photos, as we discussed earlier, always turn out better when you're having fun. Ask a friend to help you and pick a pleasant setting, somewhere that you feel comfortable in. Maybe it can be going for a picnic or a marina or on the beach, something like that. Something you've got the right place so you feel comfortable and relaxed. Number 2, I mentioned this already, but it's talking points. And use your images to deliver a message about who you really are. You could pose with your dog or stand in front of your favorite rose garden, wherever it might be, something that really demonstrates who you are and makes it easy for someone to start a conversation. Number 3, take multiple shots, take loads of them. You want to include several pictures in your profile, and you need some head and shoulder pictures, and you also need some full body shots as well. And images taken with your friends, I wouldn't necessarily recommend having other people in the pictures, but if you're having fun, you can crop them out, make it look nice, you're having good fun activities. And number 4, experiment with other kinds of images. Recent images of yourself are really, really important, but you have to get playful. Try something, I mentioned a novel or a book or something like that, or you wearing something unusual so it just stands out from the competition. And number 5, I said this already, but change your pictures up. If something's not working, give it another go with something else until you find the perfect blend. And there are actually websites out there you can go to. There's one called photofeeler.com. You can pay to have people vote on which one you look most attractive in. You can get women to vote or men to vote. It's a really useful, inexpensive tool. If you want to go on LinkedIn, it can make you look how serious you look or how professional or how clever you look. But other people's opinions can really, really work. But I'd go for at least 20, 30 people's opinions. Otherwise, it's not going to count. Gemma, what are your thoughts on those?
Yeah, I think you've nailed it.
Good. That's the goal, isn't it? Always.
Yeah.
So, Gemma, thank you so much for joining me. Now, if somebody wants to find you and wants to look into having some great photographs taken, how do they find you?
Yep, so they can find me at wejustclicked.uk, or they can just find me, Gemma Wilks, on LinkedIn. Fantastic.
Now, Gemma, thank you very much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
I've really enjoyed myself. What a lovely, lovely end to my I'm actually going to finish work after this. I'm going to down tools.
You do that. You go and enjoy the rain. That's what I'm going to do.
I have to walk the dog, actually. So
I had to go out in the rain, but not taking any pictures because I wouldn't do that on my own while my family are out. Anyway, thank you so much. And I'll speak to you another time. Bye for now.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening. I'd love to give you a free copy of my latest book, which you can download right now from my website, jamespreece.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, I'd really appreciate it if you could share the love by taking a few seconds to write a positive review on the iTunes store right now. See you next time.